Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I do not have too much to say for starters, except that I'm sure the conversation will develop as we go. I have wondered over time why we are where we are, but that seems to be the situation with a lot of other things, not just with SMEs. I have lived the last 20 years working in SME, particularly in manufacturing, making and selling stuff across West Africa. The first thing we might have to clear up is the very definition of the word SME. What is small and medium differs from country to country, it seems like it. The Americans seem to say that a company must have at least 500 employees to be an SME. In Europe, that comes down to like 250, 200, depending on which country you are coming from. The definition is usually a combination of either number of staff or turnover or a combination of the two. In Ghana, my own chamber's working definition seems to be something like 15 persons. If you employ at least 15 people and you have a turnover of at least 250,000 Ghana cedis per annum, that makes you an SME in Ghana. I'm yet to know whether that is small or medium, but either way, it still qualifies. The argument about the financing of SMEs does not seek to give the impression that the only critical success factor to growth in SMEs is finance. Of course, nobody will downgrade the value of things like discipline, of how serious you are, of your personal knowledge as the entrepreneur, of how dedicated, of your strategy, and many other things. But financing in this country for small and medium-scale companies is a big problem. What has been the current financing models, one would ask? It usually, the entrepreneurs own money, and then you get to family and friends when you have run out of your own money, and then you might have to end up calling on somebody like Mr. Andani. His model usually comes with a collateral. These have been the usual sources of SME financing to date. But we would have to cast the net wider. I believe that's the reason why he himself supports an event like this. He believes that more patient funding is required for startups. My West African experience tells me that as much as we think we are a fantastic location and destination, there may be others who have an up on us. I will take Nigeria as an example because I know it pretty well. For starters, you will take a commercial loan for anything between 15 to 18%. In this country, it will be anything from the lower end of the Nigerian interest. We think we have energy on our side, but fuel costs nothing in Nigeria. A liter of fuel in Nigeria is only 140 naira. A gallon, therefore, works to less than $2. You are therefore buying petrol in this country at 3 times or 2.5 times what you buy it in Nigeria. The market is against you hereabouts. You can bring anything from anywhere to sell in Ghana. In Nigeria, if you made something in that country, chances are, if it's a fast-moving consumer product, what we used to call essential commodities, nobody else can bring it from outside. Your competition will be all local. That is not the same here. Even water is shipped from thousands of miles into this country. So really, once you add finance, the cost of energy, the cost of utilities, the cost of even real estate, the rents we pay, it makes it not a very attractive destination in West Africa even. A subtopic of this meeting had been making Ghana globally competitive for the SME market. I want to say, let's start by making it regionally competitive before we get to globally. And then when we put things side by side, we realize that we are at a great disadvantage and we have a lot of work to do. What is the way forward? There may be various alternatives we must employ. I have seen the alternative index on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Even the so-called big companies on the stock exchange seem to be struggling to get people to invest in. It makes it, therefore, even more complicated for companies that nobody knows to get people to buy into. I therefore think that for starters, before you are listed on the alternative index on the Ghana Stock Exchange, there is at least a year's period of targeted marketing and selling of the company to the public so people are interested in investing in companies other than the big ones. That way, SMCs, once they are listed, have already been marketed to targeted individuals and organizations, and they can expect that they would get takers. I think that another thing is to make sure this country is genuinely a lot more attractive than it is. The Swiss have made a country out of just keeping people's money for them. That's all they do for a living. We have prided ourselves on being friendly people. We have prided ourselves on being a safe country. But even that we seem to be losing. It doesn't make us too attractive anymore. When I started going into Nigeria 10 years ago, some of the most famous products in every corner shop were Ghanaian. In those days, you could find village fresh alata semina everywhere in Nigeria. You could find Starkist tuna everywhere in Nigeria. You could find ahumka ginger everywhere in Nigeria. You could find Nkatie burger everywhere in Nigeria. These were the days before Alomo and Healthy Life hit the streets of Lagos. Today, I don't see any of those trailblazers. One major reason why they don't seem to exist anymore has been the cost of finance in this country. Because if you have to borrow at 30%, if you have to buy fuel at the price we buy at, if you have to pay rents at what we pay, it becomes almost impossible to produce anything here and go and sell it somewhere else. Especially since if you make anything of substantial quantity in this country, you can't sell it here. First of all, there are not enough people here. Secondly, everybody brings his stuff to come and sell here. Thirdly, if you have to take it anywhere else, people are producing there for less. So I believe we need a more attractive environment. All these add up to the cost of finance, if you ask me. We need a broader scheme of doing interest subsidies in this country. There's a choose and pick, come this party and that party. And it never seems to go beyond approvals by the time a party leaves office. You get an approval, you never see money. You chase and chase and chase, and the interest subsidies never happen. The government goes out of power, and that scheme is supposed to have ended, and you wait for a new government to start a new scheme. I believe SMEs need discounted environments to operate in. I do not think that you can start a company and pay the same electricity tariffs that a Club 100 company pays. I do not think you should be subjected to the same GRA audit and constant visits from IRS that a Club 100 company does. I do not think that just by adopting ECOWAS policies, we are ensuring that those policies are practiced across the sub-region. I believe all these will help SMEs grow and thrive in the region and subsequently later on globally. Thank you.